Friends, we all use the internet, but perhaps no one knows or even notices that we use only 4% of the internet, while the remaining 96% is the deep web and the dark web. And it is through the dark web that all kinds of illegal activities are carried out. Today, we're going to talk about a movie that is based on the dark web. So, friends, without further delay, let's get started. And welcome to my channel, Movie Network. At the beginning of the movie, we see a boy entering a room and coming across 3 dead bodies. In the room, he sees a bullet lying on the floor. Holding it, he asks himself, "Who am I?" And he answers, "I am Benjamin, and this is my story." Then we see Benjamin in a police custody, and with him is a police officer whose name is Hina. "Who am I?" The movie's flashback begins when Hina asks Benjamin, "Did you want to meet me? What is it that you want to say?" When Benjamin was very young, his mother died. So from his childhood, he was very lonely. No one would talk to him, and he did not mingle with anyone. Therefore, Benjamin thought of himself as a superhero because, just like superheroes, he had experienced many tragedies. So he compared himself with superheroes and tried very hard to become one. After that, we see that at the age of 14, Benjamin hacked his own system. Since childhood, Benjamin was very good at computer programming, and from then on he used to roam the dark web. On the dark web, there was a user whose name was MRX, and this MRX was the boss of the dark web because everyone on the dark web respected him very much. Now you might ask, what is the relationship between MRX and Benjamin? In fact, there is no relationship between Benjamin and MRX, but Benjamin wants to join and work with MRX, which is why Benjamin was always very active on the computer, and during the rest of his time he worked as a pizza delivery man. Since childhood, Benjamin had loved a girl named Mary very much, but he never had the courage to tell her that he loved her. One day, while delivering pizza, he meets Mary, and there he finds out that Mary has an exam for which she needs question papers. We do so much for the people we love. In the same way, at that time Benjamin could no longer hold himself back. In order to impress Mary, Benjamin breaks into the college server and steals the question papers, but he is caught by the college guard, for which he is sentenced to 50 hours of community service. Community service is a type of punishment for those who commit very minor offenses or have no previous criminal record. While doing his community service, Benjamin meets a boy who is also a hacker, whose name is Max. Max had a special talent. He could blend in with everyone in a very short time. In short, he could win anyone over very quickly. Anyway, Max gives Benjamin an address and asks him to join a party there. When Benjamin goes to the party, Max introduces him to 2 others whose names are Paul and Steven. They are all hackers. Then, as Max is introducing Benjamin to everyone, he says, "Benjamin is a good hacker," to which they absolutely refuse to believe, and to prove it, Max hands Benjamin a laptop and asks him to demonstrate his skills. Then Benjamin uses the laptop to hack and cut the power of the entire area. Seeing this, Paul and Steven are extremely amazed and join hands with Benjamin. Shortly after, through the window of their room, they see that the police have already arrived. Benjamin then uses his laptop to restore everything exactly as it was and begins to escape. At that very moment, Benjamin sees Mary at the party. For a brief moment, Benjamin stops upon seeing Mary. Max then looks at both of them and says, "Do you know each other?" Immediately, the police burst into the party. Before Mary can understand anything, Benjamin grabs her hand and starts running, and behind them, Paul and Steven also run. After going a little distance, Max, Steven, and Paul leave from there, and only Mary and Benjamin remain. At that time, Mary recognizes Benjamin and asks, "You were my classmate, weren't you?" Then they both head off to their respective homes. Friends, the hacking party of this movie is about to begin. Now, to enjoy the thrilling and exciting story of this movie even more, stay with us. I hope you all really like this movie. Anyway, after that, Max, Paul, Steven, and Benjamin plan to hack a government seminar. They start a comedy video of Hitler on one of the monitors there, and when everyone in the program sees it, they get furious and start a commotion. No one really understands what is happening with them. However, a little later, some guards outside the program spot their team, and they all escape just like that. Now Max says, "We need a place for hacking," to which Benjamin replies, "My grandmother is admitted to the hospital. We can use that house." They turn Benjamin's house into their hacking operation base. Then Benjamin thinks that their team needs a name, because everyone on the dark web has some sort of name. So Benjamin says, "How about Clee?" And Clee means clowns laughing at you. After Benjamin says that, everyone votes for him. Then they hack the lighting system of a large pharmaceutical company, where they display the middle finger sign. They record all these activities on video and release them on the dark web, and gradually they start to become famous. The sole purpose behind doing all these things is to impress MRS. But MRX, upon seeing all this, is not impressed at all. Rather, he starts laughing at the deeds of the Clee group. Seeing this, Max becomes extremely angry and exclaims, "We are losers. We haven't been able to do anything so far." Hearing this, Max leaves the house. Benjamin realizes that if he wants to impress MRS, he must do something different. Then Benjamin calls everyone to his house, and they try to plan something big. Benjamin's plan is to hack the server of the BND office, the office of the German Secret Service. They properly plan to hack the BND server, and for that they need some information. Consequently, they start collecting email addresses from all the documents discarded in the trash heap of the BND office. Then they begin sending emails to those addresses, and one of the people at the BND office falls into the trap set by the Clee group. He clicks on a link that was sent in the group's email. Seizing this opportunity, they make a fake ID to get into the office. Then they enter the BND office and hack it by taking data from there. After hacking, they turn on all the printers in the BND office, and one printer starts printing out copies repeatedly with the message, "Play is here. No system is safe." The next day, the news of the BND office server being hacked spreads everywhere, and Benjamin and his crew become even more famous than before. Even the TV channels start reporting their exploits. Their plan is now successful, and they attend a party. At the party, while dancing, Benjamin sees Mary again. At the party, Mary had come with a male friend. Friends, now we need to flash back a little because there are still some events involving Benjamin and Mary that remain unknown to us. Before this, Benjamin had met Mary in a supermarket. There, Benjamin, Max, Paul, and Stephen were present. While Stephen and Paul were on one side of the shop, Benjamin and Max were shopping on the other side, and Mary was walking past them. Benjamin saw Mary at first, but said nothing. Then Max, upon seeing Mary, immediately calls her by name. After that, hiding behind a tissue box, Max conceals himself. Seeing Max hide, Benjamin also hides. But Max pushes Benjamin out from behind the tissue box so that he can talk to Mary. Mary sees Benjamin and asks, "What are you doing?" Whenever Benjamin sees Mary, his heart starts racing uncontrollably. At that moment, he isn't sure what should be said or done. In response to Mary's question, Benjamin says nothing. Hearing this, Max gets a little disappointed because he wanted Benjamin to talk to Mary properly. Then Max tells Benjamin, "It may be easy for you, but for me it is by no means easy because you are very different from me as a person. You are very cool." Hearing such words from Benjamin, Max is extremely surprised and says, "Then learn by watching me." With that, Max goes off to talk to Mary. Max tries to exchange a few casual words with Mary, and Mary easily starts laughing and begins to talk with him. Later, they steal a racing car, and by driving that racing car, they roam around the city having fun. The scene changes. Then Max brings 3 girls to his room. After bringing them to the room, they start consuming drinks and cocaine together. In addition, they have a lot of fun. But Benjamin never goes near those girls to speak even a few words. Anyway, boys like Benjamin are really good. Friends, if you want, you can copy Benjamin's character so that maybe you can be much better with your loved ones. Anyway, after seeing all these things about Benjamin, Max realizes that he can never be normal with any matter. Therefore, Max tries to explain these things to Benjamin in a very normal way and tells him, "Be open-minded, then you will see that gradually you will achieve everything." Then Benjamin starts thinking that perhaps Max is right, that he must change. So, without any delay, Benjamin takes the racing car and goes to meet Mary, and Mary, upon seeing Max's car, is a little surprised. Happily, Mary gets into Benjamin's car and tells him, "I passed my exam." Then they talk for a while, and in between, Benjamin starts talking to himself in his mind like, "Come on, believe in yourself, be like Max." In other words, by saying such things, he tries to make himself normal. Then Benjamin feels so empowered that in one moment he kisses Mary, and after that, Mary leaves. Benjamin then starts blaming himself and thinks, "Perhaps I have made a huge mistake." Thinking this, Benjamin gets off the car and goes towards Mary, but suddenly Mary's friend comes and starts beating Benjamin because he saw him kissing Mary. Now, from this flashback, we return to that party. Then, an event happens that might surprise you. Shortly after, Benjamin sees what Max is doing with Mary. Seeing this, you can understand what state Benjamin is in. He becomes extremely angry and upset and goes home. Max realizes that in the haze of intoxication, he has made a huge mistake, so without any delay, he immediately goes to Benjamin's house to meet him. He finds that Benjamin has already locked the door. Everyone calls out to Benjamin, but he does not open the door at all. In his anger, he tells them to leave. Then Max says, "If you were not in our team, then maybe you wouldn't have been able to do any of this." Hearing Max's words, Benjamin becomes even more furious, and in his anger, he ends up handing over all the data from the BND office to MRX. The next day, Max, Paul, and Stephen come to find Benjamin sleeping on the sofa. Max apologizes to Benjamin, but Benjamin's anger does not subside. Instead, Benjamin starts hitting Max. Then they watch a news report on TV that an agent has been killed. He was also a member of the Dark Web Friends group who used to collect data from dark web hackers and give it to the government. Seeing this, Benjamin becomes extremely scared because the data that he had given to MRAS contained the details of the agents. Then Benjamin tells everyone, "I had given the data to MRAS." Max then tells Benjamin, "Our intention was only to show MRAS that we can hack such a big secret office. But why did you give that data to MRAS? Now we have become enemies to the whole nation." Then Benjamin tells everyone, "Since I made this mistake, I will fix everything." Max then asks Benjamin, "How will you fix all this on your own?" Benjamin replies, "The police are not after us. The police are after MRAS. So, we must trace MRAS, and if we can trace MRAS, we will find the real culprit." Then they all join a public server to contact MRX. Contacting MRAS, Benjamin is told, "I had given you the data only to let you join my group. Take me into your friend's group." MRX then says, "For you, there is one task that you must do for me. Install the Trojan virus on Europol server." Benjamin agrees to MRX's words and starts downloading the Trojan virus given by MRX. But shortly after, the police arrive there, so Benjamin, Max, Paul, and Stephen run away, and they burn all their hard disks and computers with acid so that the police cannot trace them. The scene changes. Then they take the Trojan virus given by MRX and go to the Europol office, but no matter how hard they try, they cannot break in. Max repeatedly tries and ends up with pain in his hand and sits down. After a while, they see some people getting on a bus, and from inside the bus, an ID card falls out. Then Benjamin promptly picks it up. After looking at the ID card, they realize that they had actually come to visit the Europol office. One night, Benjamin goes to the gate of the Europol office, shows the gatekeeper the ID card, and says, "I came to visit in the morning, but I left my wallet inside the canteen." But the gatekeeper tells Benjamin, "Now the office is closed. I cannot let you in. Come back in the morning." Then Benjamin tells the gatekeeper, "My father is very angry with me for losing my wallet. If I cannot bring it back, I might get beaten by my father." Hearing this, Benjamin starts pleading with the gatekeeper again, and the gatekeeper says, "All right, I will give you 2 minutes." Immediately, Benjamin enters the Europol office and installs 2 Trojan viruses. One is the Trojan virus given by MRX, and the other is the Trojan virus that Benjamin created himself. Benjamin installs his own virus for one reason only. He wanted to trace someone. After that, Benjamin sits in a public canteen and starts sending SMS messages to MRX, asking him to pick up the Trojan virus file. But MRX absolutely does not want to take it, because by that time MRX has realized that Benjamin is playing a double game. Then MRX hacks Benjamin's computer and spreads all his secret data everywhere. After that, Benjamin sees 2 Russian agents coming to catch him, the same 2 who had killed that German agent. Then Benjamin runs away to a hotel. At the hotel, Benjamin sees that his friends are lying there almost dead, and he sees some bullet casings. Benjamin picks up one of the bullet casings and then starts contacting the police. And that is where the flashback ends. Friends, we are now nearing the end of the movie. I hope you all continue to enjoy the final parts of the movie, because the real mystery of the movie is hidden right at the very last moment. At the very beginning of the movie, I mentioned a Europol officer named Hina, in front of whom Benjamin narrated everything that had happened. At that moment, Benjamin tells Hina, "I can give you all the information of the members of the EMRS Friends group, but there is one condition. Include me in the Witness Protection Program." The Witness Protection Program is a program in which all the details of the witnesses are erased. They are relocated to a new place and given a new identity so that no enemy can attack them. So, Hina quickly agrees to Benjamin's condition because they really needed MRS. Then Hina asks Benjamin, "How are you going to trace MRS?" To which Benjamin replies, "I have a plan that will work like magic. I will strike at Mraz's weak spot." Then Hina sets up a computer setup room for Benjamin to trace MRX. Benjamin begins to show his magic. He spreads on the dark web that MRX had killed that German agent of the French group, and this goes viral on the dark web. Then a storm of rumors erupts on the dark web about MRX. At that moment, Benjamin, having defeated MRX, enters the dark web and tells everyone, "I am the real MRX, and the real one might actually be a fake." Friends, here I want you to know that everything happening with Benjamin and MRX is actually taking place within a computer. It is simply being portrayed with human characters so that it is easier to understand. When we visit any website, we check its security. Some websites, as soon as you enter, notify you that the website is harmful. And it is shown that MRS is trapped in a room, while in the dark web Benjamin has actually defeated MRX. In fact, MRX comes out with a hammer and breaks the door. This hammer that is shown is actually a Trojan virus, and it is the virus that Benjamin dropped into the system to trace MRX. Using this virus, MRX opens his door. At that moment, Benjamin learns the real identity of MRS, that MRX was actually just a 19-year-old boy. Anyway, when Benjamin reveals Mraz's identity, the police come and arrest MRS. With that, the story of Who Am I comes to an end. For more beautiful movie explanations like this, please subscribe to our channel. That's all for today. Goodbye, and see you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay healthy.